Hello everyone and welcome back to another StarCraft replay with your boy Strawberry. We got up in the top left hand corner here, we got a blue Terran by the name of Liquid Clem. Doing really well right now in the Xelnaga's finest. Young guy, up and coming, showing a lot of promise, beating a lot of people. And down here in the bottom right we have a red Protoss, GunGFuBanDa. I wonder if this guy is Korean, because he's putting B's and G's instead of K's and P's. But I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. Perhaps you can tell me down in the comments who is this guy and what's his credentials. So we've got a PvT here on Nightshade, one of the newer maps, and a map that's got quite an exposed third base as compared to some of the other maps, but ultimately seems pretty fine. I always tend to struggle with fourth bases, like especially here, where Terran in particular can set up some siege tanks here, and you can get really toxic. So, but in general, pretty balanced map, pretty fair map. I'm trying to see some pretty good games in this map. So it'll be interesting to see what we're going to see today. So we've got the classic one gate starting to slowly populate his gas. We're probably going to see the Nexus go down. Yeah, Nexus before Cybernex core. All really standard, and on the Clem side we've got the one gas Reaper expand, which again, incredibly standard play. Good luck, have fun, says GunGFuBanDa, as he puts down his cybernetics core. PvT at the moment is it's quite a volatile matchup. It seems to be 1 month Protoss are completely dominating, the next month Terran are back again, and backwards and forwards, swings and roundabouts. For a long time, Protoss have been winning with mass gateway builds, with lots of zealots and blink stalkers moving into storm on 4 bases, and it's been working really well. But Terran have started innovating. They've changed some of their early openers. They've changed the way they're approaching it strategically, and we're really starting to see a bit of a swing back towards the Terran favour, I think. So I'll be interested to see how this game plays out and what build's going to go for. Immediately, Clem has gone for a factory opener, so we're probably going to see Cyclone come out of there just to defend against Oracles, and then probably go into some Stargate play, potentially Banshees, or I have seen some BCs against Protoss. I don't know how Trolley Clem is starting to feel, but we could see something jank. I mean, Terran really do have a lot of options, and there's a lot of different directions they could go. We get a Robo down for the Protoss, so it's going to be very safe. He's going to get his observers out. He's going to be defended against any kind of Banshee play. And we do see the quick starport, pulling off his mule there so it doesn't mine a mineral and then die before it returns. It's a good preservation of his minerals there from Clem. Single Hellion coming out, probably just for scouting really more than anything, and keeping this Reaper alive, getting a lot of scouting done. Jumps up into the base, there's the block, but gets out just fine. You will have seen the Robo as part of that, so great little piece of scouting. Cost him basically nothing, gets to see the Robo. Yeah, and the Hellion, just going to see what it can see. It sees 2 gateways, it sees a Sentry, a Stalker, and a Adept. This tells you, it's not an Adept rush, it's not a Blink Stalker all in. He's built a Sentry, so, he's not rushed to like Twilight Council and DT Shrine. So, you've always got to bear in mind, well, even if you can't see into the base, try and figure out what might be there based on what you can see at the front of the base. It's a really important skill, especially as you get higher up in StarCraft, when people are better at hiding their tech and they're good at preventing scouting. You really need to be able to extrapolate from what you can see to be able to learn what is actually going on. So we see the tech lab goes down really quickly, and he starts a Raven as the first unit out. So we've got Marine, Raven, Siege Tank, and then the third base comes down as well. I've not exactly seen this opener before. It looks pretty cool. I like it. Ravens are great in the matchup. We've recently been seeing a lot of Ravens hanging out in the dead space around the back of the map. So here, like here, and here or here, and then they just come in and drop a missile turret and go back to the dead space. And takes out an observer there with the missile turret. Pretty nice. Nice range, says Protoss. Nice range. But yeah, as I was saying, didn't it bug a bit, the attack speed? These guys having a nice little chat as we see Clem put on a reactor and build a couple more barracks. So yeah, Ravens. The effect of that is, yeah, you might kill a worker or two, or delay some mining, but really, what it does is it means that Protoss has to commit Stalkers to the defense forever, because it's a permanent threat. So that allows the Terran push to be stronger, because some amount of the Protoss army is in the base defending, and they're not immediately available for when the push comes in. So it's a really cute little strat that a lot of Terrans are doing these days. But I think the fact that we saw Clem use his energy to kill the Observer means he's not bothering with that. He's just going to save the energy for the push. So here we go. 2 siege tanks are made now. 3rd base ready. Raven. No medevacs on the way, which is interesting. He has the reacted starport, but he's not making medevacs just yet. Colossus from GunGFuBanDa, as his 3rd base is getting mined. And he looks pretty safe. He looks pretty safe against this opener. You know, this is mainly Marines. And you know, a lot of Protoss are doing this these days. As I referred to earlier, they were doing a lot of gateway strategies, but then the Widowmine bio and 3 racks bio openers were doing a lot of work against that build. So Protoss have gone back to a bit more of an older build. Really, we're building Colossus on 2 or 2.5 bases, 3 bases. So really, that's the fact that we're seeing Colossus again in PvT is a real reaction to the last couple of weeks of PvT's development. Some great scouting here. You see, look at this, fantastic. Protoss really have the worst scouting in the game. They don't have overlords, they don't have scan. So builds a pylon, a couple of pylons, a couple of probes out on the map patrolling, a depth patrolling. And if we look at the Protoss vision, you know, he has every line pretty much covered. And if a push were to come in from any angle, he would be able to respond. But Clem just setting up his 3rd base, not really interested in pushing just yet, but his 1-1's about to finish. He's hoping for a nice sweet timing where he can move out across the map and hit just as the 1-1 finishes. I feel like he's moved out just a little bit early, but I guess he's probably going to slow push it once he engages the army. Then here we go. The Colossus right out, get a few zaps off. That's quite a few Marines dead, and this is brilliant. You know, he's made him siege up. That's the crucial thing. Slowing this push down, allowing the warp gate cooldowns to come off so we can get in another warp in round. And to be honest, this doesn't look like a lot of stuff from Clem. You know, is it about to be 2 Colossus? Do they have range? I'm not sure, but I think probably yes. Oh, it's about to be 3 Colossus, in fact, because there's already 1 here. And a big surround. Where's that 3rd Colossus? Here it is. Yeah, I'm not sure I really like this for Clem. He can disable, but I think he can only disable twice or once. So yeah, GunGFuBanDa's just going to wait till the last possible moment to engage and crush him. Hopefully before... A nice little run by some zealots coming in here. Yeah, hopefully you can crush him before the reinforcements arrive. Oh, a huge feedback on the Raven from that High Templar. The Raven is completely useless now. Clem needs to get out of here. The Raven was the only thing keeping him in that fight. He's got no answer to these Colossus. Just no Vikings, no Liberators, nothing. So there we go. Pushes him off. And the zealots, they've killed 15 workers back in the base. Yikes. They savaged this mineral line. Really well played by GunGFuBanDa. Must have walked them in from over here. And now he's going back on the counter-attack. He's going to try and put pressure on Clem whilst he doesn't have an appropriate answer to Colossus. Clem hurriedly trying to produce 4 Colossus at a time, Vikings at a time. Putting down a Ghost Academy and another base. I think he may have done enough just to intimidate GunGFu and just send him home. Disruptors on the way, and another base from the Protoss, taking up to 4 bases. But it's a little bit behind the Terran expansion, but it's not really a noticeable difference. Ooh, big Disruptor shot. Disruptors are also becoming really popular for Protoss because ghosts are such a common occurrence. People are building Ghost Academies even if the enemy doesn't have Storm, just because it takes off the shields. You know, it's about literally half the HP of the Colossus eradicated in a spell. So people just blind building ghosts, and therefore High Templars are really not cutting the mustard. And obviously the counter to Colossus with the Vikings coming in Well, Vikings pretty bad against disruptors, so it's a pretty nice sort of push and pull move. You force them into making Vikings to deal with the Colossus, and then you switch it up and build some disruptors, and now your Colossus are dead. Your Vikings are useless. But we see Clem responding to that by building Liberators, and yeah, I mean, Liberators I feel are better than Vikings. They achieve very much the same thing, but they can also attack ground. So another run by attempt here, but runs straight into a little ball of reinforcements. And tries pushing in over here, but decides the better of it. Oh, big warp in of Zealots in the main base, right as he attacks in at this third position. And Disruptors keep him away, big Disruptor hits. Trying to focus down on the Colossus. I mean, all the Colossus are going to die to these Vikings, there's pretty much no way around it. But the issue is then that Clem is going to have this many Vikings against, you know, a Blinkstalker army. You know, you got to wonder if he even slightly overmade these Vikings in the panic of being ill prepared for them. But GunGFuBanDa kills another 21 SCVs and gets out. So I mean, the total number of SCV killed, 36 from this Protoss. Definitely looking good in this game. Taking very little damage himself, but has dealt out massive damage. His tech's on the way, upgrades are coming, and yeah, things look great for the Protoss. He's got another Warp Prism out here. Liberators are an issue for Protoss, and in these small numbers you can manage them with Stalkers, but it gets to a point when they hit a critical mass and they have the range upgrade where it can become really terrifying if you don't have some kind of air unit to deal with it, Tempests or whatever, Void Rays, if you're feeling crazy. Love it. Here we go. Zealot warp in plus a few DTs in there. See if Clem, I mean Clem will notice, he's a pro, but it can often be deceptive. Like, can it be hard to tell the difference between the sound of a DT slash and a Zealot slash? Oh, he just leaves the game right there and then. If we just jump it back a second. How many scans did he have? He's got one scan there, no scans there, no scans, no scans, and I think he uses this scan. Yeah, he scans the army there. Now he has no scans, and I think he just gets a bit flustered. He gets a bit triggered. He knows that he's lost a lot already in this game, and he knows he's behind. So the DTs were just the thing that was needed to tip him over the edge. Yeah, the 5th base for Protoss. You know, things are humming along. It's got a lot of supply tied up in these Vikings. You know, the army supply looks pretty even, but a lot of it is in Vikings, and it's just not good enough. So Clem GG's out, and that's the end of the game. 1 win for GunGFuBanDa. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you next time.